Everybody, we're gonna get started here. It is 3:01, so we're not too far behind. I mean, still. Yeah. And then another thing I had like that's together. Commissioner Betsy McClure here running this meeting today. Our chair Vince is not available today. So.
He thought you not get this.
There it is. Oh, Vince is on screen. Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for sitting in for me, Betsy. I'm at Washington, D.C. at the NACO conference, and the Fayette County has some meetings scheduled tomorrow on Capitol Hill for our priorities in the county, and I just didn't want to miss that, so I apologize.
Thanks for getting online, Vince.
No problem.
Welcome, everybody, and we're going to go around the room for introductions. I am Betsy McClure, Green County Commissioner and Vice Chair of SBC.
Rich Fitzgerald, Executive Director.
Jen Lasser, Director of Workforce Economic Development. Dusty Elias Kirk, Reed Smith, Council.
Integrated Water Resource Program Manager.
Kristen Baum, Finance Manager. Lisa Sovian, Finance Director.
Faith Hunts, Community Economic Development Manager.
Brent Howard, Director of Information Systems and Data.
Captain Donald, secured files and data.
Mary Bracken, Program Manager. Karen, Data Analyst.
Jeremy Popeye, Multimedia Developer.
Mason Fish, Public Relations Specialist.
Melissa Brown, Editorial and Compliance Specialist.
Chuck Holding at Buchanan.
Eric Mulchaney with Buchanan. Laura Ainsman Sohinky with the Governor's Office.
Maria Connor, Mayor, City of Pittsburgh.
Leslie Yoshi, Commissioner Butler County.
Good afternoon, everyone. Commissioner Pat Fabian, Armstrong County.
Dan Kennedy, Lawrence County.
Oh, I can get up.
Dan. Tony Amadeo, Beaver County Commissioner.
Alex Dollar, IT support at SBC.
Rhonda Craig, Public Involvement.
Lily Grabowski, Director of Transportation at SBC.
DJ Ryan, Director of Communications and Strategic Initiative at SPC.
Yeah. And Jen Liptak, Deputy Executive Director, COO at SBC.
We have a lot of new people in the room, so I want everybody to know who everybody is. Thank you all. Okay, so do we have a quorum? Yes, we have a quorum. Okay. So you are required to come forward if you have any conflict of interest and declare those. Is there anybody? I take a motion to approve the minutes from the December the 15th meeting 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion
Aye.
carries.
Aye.
Any public comment at this time? No. No public comment. So we're going to go and have our Executive Director, Rich Fitzgerald, do his presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I'd like to welcome 2 new members to the Executive Committee. Well, I shouldn't say new, new member, Commissioner Amadeo, who's been on before and is now joining again. And certainly a new member, Mayor O'Connor, will be given a test to know everybody's name that should be introduced. So the see if he passes that. Welcome. We're glad to have you with us. Just talking briefly about some of the things we've been going over, and one of the big things that's coming up, obviously the NFL draft. The meetings continue that we have been involved with in our world, both on the transportation and transit focused part of it. Director Gabreski will probably go through some of that during our presentation. We also have been very, very much involved with the business source group, the NFL source group. Again, Lasser can go through some of that. the meetings we've been involved in. The picture you can see there is the most recent meeting we had, I guess, about a month or so ago, over at Acrisure Stadium. Want to talk about the data center visit. There were so many people that were interested in this. On the March, we're going to be going to down to Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. on March the 6th. I think people want to see what a large scale data center actually looks like, to be able to see, all the applications used, the energy, the water, et cetera, the jobs, all the things that can happen. And we're going to have a meeting, and we appreciate former member Robbie Batista, who has set this up for us, used to be on this commission from Greene County a number of years ago, and then certainly worked for Senator Casey for a number of years. Also, we have the long range plan, session number 1. We're required by federal designation every 4 years to update our long range plan. Lily Gabreski will be talking about that a little bit more, as will DJ Ryan. But the first session is going to be held March 23rd up at the Steam Fitters Local 449 up in Harmony, right off of Route 79, near the Zioleto exit. I want to thank them and Kenny Broadbent, their director, for providing the space at a reduced rate that we're able to fit into our budget and be able to do with that. So that'll be very, very helpful to that. And I want to thank all of you also for providing the names of stakeholders who could be part of the long range plan, whether it's on transportation, whether it's on technology, whether it's on and this year we're actually going to be doing housing for the first time in our long range plan. I know that's been such an issue for all of our commissioners in going that. And along those lines, the governor in his budget address actually is proposing $1 billion worth of housing infrastructure and housing developments, depending on which needs are happening in each county. So it's certainly a timely event that we'll be doing with that. I also want to thank the governor. The governor has appointed me to be on the Transportation Commission, State Transportation Commission, along with Secretary Carroll, the two leaders of the caucuses in Chairman Flynn and Chairman Ward on the Senate side, and Chairman Nielsen and Chairman Bettinghoff on the House side. So there'll be a lot, obviously, that we deal with on that. Want to make sure people know about the June 1st Harrisburg trip. It's a little later than normal. Normally that meeting happens in May, but it's going to be a little bit later this year. And the other thing I wanted to go over really briefly is the annual report. I want to thank staff and all of your participation in putting this annual report together. It really gives an awful lot of the TIP highlights for each and every county, as well as the city of Pittsburgh. Talking about the fact that last year we as a region rehabbed and replaced 19 core bridges in this region, and over the next 4 years on the TIP is another 128 bridges, as well as hundreds of miles of roads, and a lot of that is detailed in the report. And again, Lily and DJ can go over some of that. On the economic development side, hundreds of companies that we have served over these last couple of years, doing over $500 million in loans. And I know Jen's going to talk about that a little bit as we go forward. Over $10 million worth of grants, 90 organizations have received those grants, and over $58 million in export sales, working with our friends at DCED on export sales to help some of our companies continue market share in and around the world. Also, last week, I was glad to be at the State of the County in Westmoreland County. They did a tremendous job. So Commissioner Curtis Chu and Copus putting that together. Tomorrow I'll be in Beaver County. They've got their economic development going on, and I was glad to participate with Chief Gilman last week when he spoke before the Master Builders Association, talking about some of the city priorities, Mayor O'Connor's priorities that they want to see. Director Kabreski was able to join me with that. And with that, that is my report. If anybody has any questions, just let me know.
Thank you, Rich. Moving on, we're going to go to workforce and economic development update from Jen Lasser. Jen?
The one's going to be pretty brief because I'm going to go over more in depth when we have our next meeting. But the first is just wanted to let everybody know one of our huge kind of focus areas is on the rural healthcare transformation program. You probably heard a little bit about this. $193 million the state applied for and received. It was really a $200 million request to start. DHS is going to be hiring regional coordinators. That regional coordinator is going to follow within the PrEP region. So those of you that may not be aware, SPC runs the Partnerships for Regional Economic Performance Program. That's the PrEP program. It's going to follow a map. You'll see at the next meeting, I have a more detailed slide. But I just wanted to keep this on everybody's radar. There is so much kind of going with this program. A lot of information is still up in the air. It's changing at a pretty rapid pace. And much is unknown, but I wanted to at least let you know our finger is on the pulse of this. We just don't know what that pulse is yet. So it's more to come on that. The second piece, most importantly, is as you heard, our loan review team is doing a phenomenal job. We've more than doubled, if not tripled, the number of loans that we've been doing year over year. That being said, by the time you all see a loan, it's gone through something called the Loan Review Committee. This is something we need your assistance with, and I'll be sending out an email next week. You all have assigned folks to our Loan Review Committee, and over the years, we've had a lot of people sitting on that. We need to either keep the folks that we have or potentially get some new assignments. We have some counties that are open currently. I'll have that in the email for you all. But knowing that our loan activity is more than doubled, we were hopefully going to have 2 loans for you all today, but unfortunately we didn't have a quorum at our loan review committee. So we want to make sure that we can help these small businesses as quickly as possible, close as quickly as possible. For example, we had Welly, who's reshoring some manufacturing. They have a small loan with SPC as well as a large PETA loan that's going through, but their small loan with SPC closed today at 10:30 a.m. So we're so happy that we get to help our small businesses, and where we can, again, use your assistance is with either keeping the folks that we have on the loan review committee, or if you have some other folks in mind. But they basically, exactly what happens in this room, they sit, they discuss the loan, figure out, are there any questions, making sure legibility is there, because ultimately it is some SPC grant dollars that go into that loan, as well as some other banking items. So the next piece I wanted to talk about, unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I was in Tennessee for work, but Power Northwest hosted a large scale event. I believe quite a few of you were at that. And so Power Northwest, 3 of our counties fall into this economic development group. Commissioner, I don't know if you want to talk anything about it. There were about 400 people there, I believe.
Yeah, it was a pretty big event. I'll let you describe it. It was
From what I've read.
Yeah, essentially, it's just, sort of their Northwest's attempt to do similar to what the conference does here, Allegheny Conference does here in this region. So it's and we fall in the middle.
Yes.
So we're being torn in both directions.
So one of the things
We don't know if we're north or south.
Midwest.
And Mason Dixon,
So what we're hoping to do is procure a meeting with Power Northwest to explain not only what SPC does, but how we work with our partnerships for regional economic performance, how we work with our EDOs. So they're an economic development group. They're a nonprofit. They're looking very heavily at energy, AI, et cetera. We just want to make sure if there's anywhere we can be of assistance, great, but also really get an idea of what they're going to be doing and get an idea of the lay of the land. So,
and your counterpart in the
yes,
Northwest.
Jill always was there. I met Jill up in North Butler on Friday to give me the rundown. But again, 400 plus people, y'all, that's a large event. So thinking that how long was the event? Was it like a half day?
No, it was about 2 hours total, and then business leaders who had come together and actually were leading this initiative to be able to attract economic development and data center AI development in that region. They said it's they feel like they're a little left behind sometimes in that Northwest region. So this has been in the works for quite some time, and of course, Senator McCormick was the keynote.
Excellent. And so just again, another like rural health transformation program, another area we're going to kind of keep an eye on to see, what's next and keep you all abreast of that. And then finally, just circling back to the NFL draft, I cannot thank all of you in this room enough. Our local EDOs, our PrEP partners, our small business development centers, our chambers of commerce. At our last NFL meeting, they stated that this was probably one of the largest small business application processes. They had over 1,700 applications. And that's one of the largest in the history of the NFL draft. And so if we didn't have such an amazing tight knit community here working with our small businesses, I don't think we would have seen those numbers. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in the room. A lot more details coming for the next meeting, but I just wanted to say again, rural health, we're keeping an eye on loan review. You'll hear, you'll see an email from me asking about who's currently assigned and if you want to keep that person on or potentially change. Power Northwest, we're going to hopefully have a meeting with in the very near future. And just thank you again for the small business support for the draft. That's it for me.
Let me just echo the small business loan worked. I mean, if we got these loans in a business, a piece of equipment, the last thing we want to do is delay them in getting that piece of equipment to help jobs and growth. So I think Jen is just pushing a little bit. I think rightly so that we want to make sure we have a quorum at those meetings so that we can get the approval, and then you can obviously have the final say, the approval of that loan. So thank you.
So now we'll move on to any other citizens.
I'm sure I'll jump in.
Okay.
Hello, great. All right, everybody, I just wanted to, since we have a couple minutes, I'd like to present a little bit of some highlights from our annual report to all of you. So I'm going to hand these out. Oh, actually, we run out. I know we printed enough for the board members. But if we run out, we definitely have more. Well, so you might grab them, but just in case run out, we'll already know. There are more people here than we thought, which is great. So you have in your hands the annual report for fiscal year 24-25. The way that, so it's a little weird how we're doing this. We're going back in time a bit because our fiscal year closes on June 30th every year, but we wait until our numbers are audited in order to publish the annual report. So you all approved the audit at our last meeting or heard the audit report at our last meeting. So that's what we've been working on since then, is to provide you with this annual report. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my team, in particular, Jeremy and Melissa, who have seen, I don't know, 28 different versions of this report, I think, at last count. I think we're under, this is version 29, maybe. So I'm very proud of the work that they've done to go through this report with a very fine-tooth comb and to look for every punctuation mark and every statistic to ensure it's correct. And those of you that are online, I know you can't get the paper copy, but we're going to drop in the chat. There's a link in the chat for you all to view the annual report online, so you can follow along with us. But I just want to bring your attention to a couple of things. As I mentioned, because this report covers fiscal year 24-25, we are, you'll see that we have a message from our former chairman, Commissioner Fabian. That's the report for his year. So don't think that we forgot Commissioner Racine, that he gets to the next one. And just, you know, we'll go page by page here quickly, but I'm not going to spend too much time. If you look at page 7 on the planning highlights page, this is in particular something interesting because these are the actual documents that we've released in the past fiscal year that help to inform your counties on their planning efforts. So things like the action transportation plan for the symbol, it talks about bikes and pedestrians, trails, sidewalks, anything in that realm. We updated that plan last year. We also published the safety action plan, regional safety action plan, that was approved by this commission several months ago. That plan is groundbreaking in terms of the amount of resources it provides to the local planning departments and to the regional planning efforts as well. If you haven't had a chance to read that report yet, it is still available online as are all of our reports. And there's a lot of information there that I think is pretty groundbreaking when you think about safety on the roadways, in particular safety for those people who are walking on roadways but have to encounter vehicles every day. We also updated some more of our core documents like the Title VI compliance plan and the public participation plan, which have to be updated every year. But we did a complete overhaul of those documents in the past year. And we're very proud of the work that went into those. If you flip to the transportation section on page 8 and 9, you'll see a lot of the work that you already know about if you are a commissioner here at SPC, like the long range plan and the kickoff that happened in Armstrong County last year, and also the work that we've done to get ready for the next TIP. Both of those things are continuously ongoing. You're going to hear a lot more about that going forward as well. Also, some interesting statistics on page 9. We rehabilitated SPC led for construction 19 bridges that were in poor condition across the region. All of those have been led for construction now. In addition to those 19 poor bridges, there were also 63 good and fair bridges that were let for construction this year. Or sorry, 113 good or fair bridges that were let for construction this year. And we also did over 63 miles of roadway resurfacing projects. And that doesn't include a lot of the local, the local line item of county maintenance funds, for example. So it's a lot more than that. But it's a huge impact in what we do. And we don't talk about every single one of those projects here because we keep it there for far too long, but it is important work, and it is the work that you're that not only are you approving through the tip, but that your transportation technical committee members are seeing through their monthly meetings. And of course, on the economic development side, we hear a lot about the good work that happens there. And I will not read through all of these pages, but just a couple of things I want to highlight. $27 million was awarded to local companies through economic development programs that SPC is involved in last year. We have over 1,100 companies that have been supported, 1,100 local companies that have been supported through SPC's economic development work, over 700 jobs created through things like the Keystone Opportunity Zone and government contract assistance. It's a lot. There's a huge impact that the team has with very limited resources here, and we're really grateful for that. Certainly on the data side, you've heard presentations from our data team, but I don't think we can say it enough that we are the regional data center, and we have metrics, thousands and thousands of different metrics. So if there's anyone in your counties that needs a piece of information about anything you can imagine, whether it's census data or something completely different, the amount of models that our data team has, I don't fully understand all of them. There are so many. There are things that people ask for that we never thought we'd ever need, and it turns out they haven't. So please use them as a resource. Continue to use them as a resource. You'll see some of the highlights on here, things like the crash dashboard, the NEVI survey that was done that a lot of you participated in to expand our electric vehicle charging. All that stuff is run through the data office, and they're really a phenomenal team. Then we go on and talk about public participation. You all know Rhonda. She comes to your counties all the time and does really fantastic work there. And one of the big achievements I think from last year is the public panel participation or public participation panel orientations that she held in each of your counties. There are over 330 members of public participation panels at SPC. So in addition to the commissioners, all of you that are doing this work day in and day out, as well as your appointed members to the actual commission, there's also dozens of people in every county who are ear to the ground, and kind of the regular citizens who are able to get some very valuable feedback from. And so really grateful for the work that Rhonda and her team have done, but also the work that all of you have done to put good people in those public participation panels. It's certainly something that we should be highlighting that we can. If you go a little further, we have our legal notices here, and you'll see these in every single document. We update these every time federal regulations change. Just see these votes. But 14 and 15 is really kind of the meat of this plan. You'll see these numbers will change year to year, depending on, sometimes there's one major project that really throws off the statistics in one county or another. But this will give you an idea of the county impact that happens. I will say we don't pull these numbers specifically for the city of Pittsburgh because so many of the projects cross between city and county, and I guess split up and all that. So there isn't a specific number for the city here. But the bottom line, when you take all of the information on this page 14 and 15 and put it together, is for every dollar that you all, that your counties and the city invest in SPC, SPC returned $128,000 in transportation projects alone. So that's I would argue, a pretty significant return on your investment, more than you're getting from most other things. But that represents $1.1 billion in transportation projects alone. And then when you count all of the economic and workforce development work that's being done, these numbers are what really give you an idea of the actual impact of SPC. And that doesn't count all of the fantastic staff here at SPC who's going out to your counties, who's providing expert assistance, who's helping with various plans and projects. And when you put all that together, it's a significant impact. You can see on page 16 the actual financial overview. And we've gone through that. You've set through a lot of presentations, so I won't worry about all that again. You can see these actual numbers, and if you have questions, we're always available to answer them. And lastly, I'll talk about some of the stuff that's, as we say, on the horizon. Some of it's happening right now, but it's on the horizon for this report. One thing I think is particularly exciting is the editorial content. So I hope you read our newsletter. We have a pretty good open rate. So some of you are at least, but our newsletter that comes out every month is not just designed to get us views, and we want it to be something that is helpful to all of you. One of the things that we've done that's particularly interesting is Mason, our public relations specialist who came on board about a year ago now, has been sitting down with staff members and other community members and writing essentially news articles about what's going on at SPC. Why are some of these things important more than the 3 bullet sheets that you're hearing at the commission meeting? So you've seen some of those happening already. We'll be doing a feature on those in the next annual report, I hope. And if you haven't read those stories, I really encourage you to, because there's a lot of, I've learned a lot myself about my colleagues and about the work that they do. You'll also see here, we talk about climate pollution reduction grants and the process to finalize those, as well as the work of a long range plan. And I'll just say in conclusion, this document is, yes, it's 20 pages, but it represents thousands of hours of work by the staff here at SPC. I want to thank all the commissioners who have contributed to the success of SPC in the past year, but I especially want to thank the staff at SPC who not only put this document together, but did all the work that made it into this document. We are really proud to serve all of you. I can tell you, this is one of the most interesting things I've ever done. And I know that my colleagues agree with me, some of the smartest people in the fields work in this room. So we're very grateful to have them. And we're also very grateful to be able to work with things like this. I hope you'll share this report. I hope that you'll take a look at the online version and feel free to share it with your constituents as well. It's very important that we do whatever we can to get the word out about SPC. And as always, please make sure that you're giving as much to us as possible. And oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Okay, so including the annual report, thank you very much. Please take some time to read this. And if you have anything that you think we need to highlight more, please reach out. The other thing I'll say, just as a housekeeping item, I know that before my time here, when we were over at Chatham, we had that great conference center, and there were all the county flags. So we were able to kind of display all of the, all the different counties and make it a little more your facility. We don't know where those flags went. They're gone. And so I'm hoping that if you all have a county flag in some closet somewhere that you're not using at your courthouses, that we can get that from you, or that you can tell us where we can buy one with your county seal on it, because we really want to decorate this place a little bit. I think they were in the office somewhere. I'm looking.
So do you remember the big commission room? There was a podium. They were right behind the main podium.
They were returned.
We returned.
We returned them.
Oh, they're gone. Well, there you go. That's where they went. So can you have them back?
For the answer.
So if anybody can help us get county flags, we'd really like to display those again. And we're gonna work at replacing the living plant wall that we've had with something a little. We have some fantastic photos now. All your counties, if you look on the back of the reports, Jeremy actually went out and took photographs of each of your county courthouses at various angles and whatnot. So we're going to try to get these framed, and we're going to make this a little more your office. So
play it, kill. I know. Oh, that would be
well,
me.
I certainly am too, but
That's a deeper discussion.
but anyway, thank you again for your attention with this. Thank you for the work.
Thank you, DJ. And again, thank you, staff, for all the work you do. We really appreciate it. I know I've had the staff come to my county and do presentations, and want to have them come back again. So let's keep them busy. Keep them busy. And thank you. So a reminder of if there's nothing else, reminder that our next meeting will be Monday, April 27th, 2026 here. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Sure. First and second, any comment? We're adjourned till 4 o'clock.